Now, another vestige of a bygone era is the preview center. I'm a couple of hundred yards in from 535 where it meets Hotel Plaza Blvd. And as I go along here, you'll notice that the hotels are kind of behind me. So here's the one behind me there. The B Resort is across the street there. So you get a sense of where we are. Where we're walking to is what was the Walt Disney World Preview Center. And this is a really interesting space that they created. The building still exists today, but it has a completely different name. For a while, Disney leased the space to the Amateur Athletic Union. And now it's a closed building. There's nothing going on in there, but the Preview Center was there for a long period of time. And I have a recollection of it actually being a space where you would go in if you were renting one of the properties in the what was the Disney Village Marketplace, like the Treehouse Villas. You would go in there to actually get your key. So I remember going in there sometime in the 80s and getting the key for the place where we were staying. It was kind of cool. It was actually kind of neat because it had a little historical significance. So that's it right there. That's the Amateur Athletic Union. That's the building. That is the building where the Preview Center was, and it opened in about 1969 or 70 to start getting ready for when Disney World was going to open. And they had some cast members in there that would take you through the tour. They would show you the Magic Kingdom in a model. They had a video they would show, I guess it was a film actually, and they would do different things to try and get you engaged and make you interested in going to Walt Disney World. So if you came down here, you would see the preview sign out here. And you would actually see it, I believe the sign for it was probably on that plot of land right there behind where the permanent sign is. So it'd be right there. And as you would drive up down Hotel Plaza Blvd, you would come right in and you would pull into the preview center right here. So we'll walk over closer to it. Can't go in, of course, but we can at least take a look at what it is. So this was the preview center for Walt Disney World. Really remarkable space in the way they used it. It was one of the first buildings they built here on Disney property because they wanted to be able to show off what was coming. And it really was pretty neat. So you could walk right in through those doors and go and see a preview of Walt Disney World. Now, I don't remember coming in here to see the preview. I do remember coming to Walt Disney World. No, the Epcot model was actually over in the Magic Kingdom. It wasn't here. But it was really amazing what they had here and the way it worked. It's just an incredible place, and if you look back in history, this is something that's just left, right? It's not being used currently. It really is kind of interesting. It's got a historical significance to Disney, and here it is.
And so, Walt Disney's great dream became reality. Very early in the game, it began to be unveiled for the public. Always the showman, Walt had decided it should have its own proper setting. And so, one of the first buildings to be completed on the site was this handsome information headquarters and reception center. Inside the reception center, a special theater had been constructed in which to present the Disney World story. The main feature was a scale model visualization of what Disney World would look like on opening day. And here it is. The parking lot in the foreground, Bay Lake for water sports on the right, the tropical lagoon with its resort hotels on the left, and the theme park with its towering Cinderella Castle in the distance. As our hostess and tour guide tells the story in full detail, suppose we pretend we are opening day visitors. Where do we go first? Well, it's likely we would leave our car and our cares behind us, hop on the Disney World monorail, and find ourselves delivered to the exciting new contemporary hotel. Not just at the doorstep, but right in the lobby, only a few steps from our room. Next stop, if there are kids in the family, almost certainly the Magic Kingdom. Recreation for the whole family. Rides, theaters, entertainment, restaurants. More of this story later. Now suppose Mom and Dad want a game of golf. 2 championship courses with lots of water hazards to test their every shot. Perhaps lunch on the way at the new Disney-designed and Disney-managed Asian Hotel. The Polynesian Hotel will carry one to the South Pacific and even supply a coral reef where one may dive for pearls. All of these new hotels will be managed and run as a working part of Walt Disney World. This one is a bit of Venice and St. Mark's Square, Venetian throughout in design and decor. This one will be a vision out of the Arabian Nights, the Persian Hotel, a veritable palace of the hotel keeper's art. For simpler tastes, there will be the Trailer Park Campground, a small-scale city in itself. And along with it, the Diamond D Dude Ranch, where small-sized cowpoke meets large-sized horse. Afterwards, a tour along the Art Walk. Here, every phase and every facet of Walt Disney World is sketched and visualized in complete detail. This was Walt Disney's way, part of his meticulous thoroughness. This reception center has been open since February 1969, and already 500,000 people have passed through its doors. Walt Disney World itself expects 8 million people in its first year, and will open to the public in October of this year.
We're ready to go out and tear the world up. We're ready to tell everybody. And that's what we call pixie dust. It's just something we have that we spread.
So how do you get it? And why can't I have some?
You've got it. You didn't know?
You mean it's coming down
It's
all the
all
time?
over you. Yes,
Oh, boy.
it is.
It's either giving people a chance to be themselves or to regress into childhood, really.
Right.
It's so innocent. It's unbelievable, really, isn't it?
Well, people are so afraid to do what they want to do. But here, or at Disneyland, they can do anything they want to do. They're not afraid to laugh or to sit down on the floor or do anything they want. It's just the atmosphere, you know. Because for one thing, the employees, which I am, they're doing the same things. You'll see us kidding around the floor all the time, and sometimes it gets a little out of hand, I think. But most of the time, everybody joins in, you know, and it's just fun. And that's part of the excitement, too. We're special people. Like this company is a first-name company. Roy Disney, we call him Roy. And they'll correct you every time if you call them Mr. Disney or Mr. Tatum. And doesn't that make you feel good? It does me, just to know that I'm special enough to call the big man that.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Walt Disney World Preview Center. We have a moment before our show will begin, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about the model that you see in front of you. This model represents Phase 1 of Walt Disney World, 2,500 acres of our 27,000 acres. Many of our guests are curious about the difference between Disneyland and Walt Disney World. We feel that the main difference is the fact that at Walt Disney World, our guests will stay and play. Our show is just about to begin. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you.
So if you ask me, that's one of the more interesting places on Disney property. The fact that it's the first building that was here, that it was something that was thought through to make a preview for Walt Disney World to kind of build on the philosophy of how do we get people excited about it.